Greetings folks, here we have the Dynam Scout provided by Banggood for the review. This is a really nice looking scale Cessna 182 sort of plane, just under a metre wingspan, 980 millimetres I think. This is the ready to fly version, so it comes with a transmitter, battery, charger and a stabilised receiver as well, and I'll show you all about that a little bit later on. It's a very simple build, very easy, so easy in fact that I've already built it. Here it is. It's a great looking little model, really nice size. It's not the micro size, and it's not a sort of the 1.2 1.5 metre size. It's nice 1 metre ish wingspan. Looks like it'd be fun to fly, especially with the stabilisation too. Nice looking Dynam Scout 6A, sort of a basic 6-channel transmitter with it has A elevator or Elevon mixing and V-tail mixing, dual rates, and you can reverse the 4 channels as well. 3 position switch there, 2 position switch there. All the trims and sticks feel quite nice. That'll do the job nicely. We get a little 2S and 3S balanced charger, which is great. 2S 850 milliamp hour battery, which is already in the plane. Spare prop and some glue. There were a few issues with the build, and my usual one of the control horns not being strong enough. These are the aileron control horns. One of them was broken in transit, and the other one just sort of folded up in my hand. So I just sort of pulled all the control horns out and replaced them with my own. That worked well. We've got a little Allen key here. It's got a steerable nose wheel, and the Allen keys for adjusting the angle of the nose wheel. That's very nice. Little foam spinner you can glue on the front there if you want to. A few extra nuts and bolts left over. Some of the screws weren't long enough. Which one was it? The landing gear screws in here, and they didn't provide screws long enough actually to bite into anything, so I had to use my own about 20mm screws I suppose, but otherwise that was all fine. Nice little struts here to keep it strong. Good clear windows, so you can put a little camera inside if you want to. We have the little hatch underneath here. Battery is velcroed onto the side in there. To get the CG right, which is 40 to 45mm back from the leading edge, I've had to put the battery right up on the front firewall there, and the ESC as far forward as possible. We'll see how that goes with CG. It may still need a little bit of nose weight. We'll find out about that. It has a nice little plywood box mount for the motor, and the motor is a Dynam BM2313 1850 kV with an 8x4 prop. Nice little plastic cowl as well. Now, as I said, this is the ready to fly version. There's also a plug and play version, which I would actually recommend the plug and play version. That comes at about $128 Australian with free shipping. The ready to fly version is a ridiculous price. It's $230-ish. What is it? I've got it written down here. $235 for the plane and all the other bits to make it ready to fly, but they only offer expedited shipping, which adds another $146 to it, so that would be a total cost of 380-ish Australian dollars for this little beginner's plane in the ready to fly version. No one's going to pay that. I'd definitely go for the plug and play version, or if you're lucky enough to be in a country where you can get free shipping, that's great. Another little issue I had with the stabilised receiver, it had actually become unstuck from where it was mounted, so I don't really know where it was meant to be mounted. And the stabilisation, with all the control surfaces working in the correct direction using the transmitter, the elevator was stabilising in the incorrect direction. So if you click the stabilisation on, it would immediately go into a dive. So what I did to overcome that was just take the elevator servo arm off and switch it over to the other side, and that effectively reverses the action of the elevator, and then I could hit the reverse switch on the transmitter, and the stabilisation was then working in the correct direction. So I hope you can see that little green LED in the receiver in the rear window there. So that's normal mode or no stabilisation mode. That's green LED. That's stabilised mode when it turns to blue, and bluey green is return to level. Stabilise, unstabilised. and it'll be red if it hasn't established stabilisation, but it still works as a normal receiver in that situation. There's another thing I'm not that keen on too. That's just one servo operating two bent push rods for the ailerons, and they just end up way too flexy and put too much strain on the one little servo in the middle of the wing there. I'd much prefer separate servos for each aileron, but we'll work with what we're given to start off with and maybe mod it later on. Now I'll fire it up. Nice little bit of music from the transmitter, and that's where we get to the battery underneath there. You want to connect it up while it's sitting flat so you get the gyros all set up correctly. Bit of a fiddle, I have to say. So then you sit it flat, let it do its thing. Initially it'll have a flashing green light on the receiver. Now it has a steady green light. Switch through the three modes. There's unstabilised with the switch back. Normal mode, there's no stabilisation at all. Stabilised mode, the control surfaces just counteract the movement of each lifting surface. And in the return to level, you can see the control surfaces won't just counteract a little bit of movement, they'll hold that position until it gets back to level again. So this is sort of like the panic button. If you pull that switch right forward, it will return to level, or whatever level it was when you first connected up the plane, I guess. We'll find all that stuff out anyway. Stabilised mode in the middle. No stabilisation at the back. So it's all ready to go now. All we need is for the wind to die down and we can take it for a maiden.